Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the daily office lectionary. And today, as I promised last week, we're going to take a look at the lesson that's assigned from the book Job. And we'll take a look at a couple of those this week, I'm sure. But the book of Job is a hard one. It becomes kind of the standard of the idea of suffering in the world and how it is that if God allows suffering, is there any purpose for it? And is there anything redemptive about suffering? Now, Job, of course, is the main character in the story after a conversation between God and the devil. And we wonder how the author of this knew what that conversation was. But once we get past that conversation, which is very troublesome, Job is afflicted with a series of things. Loses his family, he has all sorts of physical disease, he loses all his possessions, and things have gone from good and fruitful and easy to very painful. And Job's basically begins his laments. There will be other characters that come into the story, and his friends are, I would say, less than helpful. They kind of pile it on, and they let him know that all this must be happening because he did something wrong. But of course, in the end, there is a redemption. So we're at chapter 3 right now, beginning at verse number 1. After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. And Job spake and said, Let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, There is a man-child conceived. Let that day be darkness, and let not God regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and the shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. As for the night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Lo, let that night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. Let them curse that it curse the day, who are ready to raise up their mourning. Let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark, for let it look for light and have none, neither let it see the dawning of the day. Because it shut not up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from mine eyes. So that's a lot big and flowery bunch of verses that basically mean things would have been better if I had never been born at all. Let me jump forward to verse 13. For now should I have lain still and been quiet. I should have slept, then had I been at rest. With kings and the counselors of the earth, which built desolate places for themselves, or with princes that had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or as a sudden untimely birth, I had not been, as infants which never saw light. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. There the prisoners rest together, they hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master. Wherefore is light given to him that is in misery, and life unto the bitter in soul. So, again, why am I even bothering to be alive if I'm going to have all this hardship? And of course, the hardship is particularly insidious to him because all was so good just a little bit ago. He's gone from absolute everything is awesome, right? Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. I gotta get my mind off of that Lego movie. We've gone from that to this suffering, physical suffering, emotional suffering, psychological suffering, and spiritual suffering. And Job is saying, look, it'd be better off if I had not been born at all. And in fact, if I were dead and laid in the grave like others. Okay, so he's starting off at a very low point, and his friends are going to come into the story. They're not going to really make it better, but in the end, there will be redemptive. The suffering will have redemption, and it'll be redemptive. But we'll get to that by the end of the week. Today is Monday. We do have Holy Communion Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at 12:15. Thursday, we go back to our winter schedule, and which means 10 o'clock we'll have adoration, 10:30 Holy Communion, and benediction following. So back to our rest of the winter schedule for this week on Thursday. And then evening prayer, of course, at 5 o'clock. And I do hope that you will be able to join us in person for any of those, or you can watch online on Facebook or at stjohnsdetroit.org. And may God bless you.